Hey there, John DeCampos here. Just want to make a quick video and kind of let people who might care about what's going on here at Terrible Games. It's been a really interesting year, but being a freelancer and kind of being stuck at home has sort of given me a ton of what would have been not available free time to kind of form a maybe unhealthy obsession with making new board games and doing a ton of illustration. So here's what I've been doing, and here's what the team has been doing. I've had a lot of people who have been helping out with this stuff, including the people at Terrible Games, but also we've brought on some indie designers, but I'll get to that in just a second. Okay, so first thing, what's going on with Token Terror's Battlegrounds? So we've already paid the deposit for the mold machining, which is one of the larger upfront costs for us to get the actual miniatures made for the game. So that got sent out a couple months ago, and it just takes a while. COVID is affecting the entire world, and you probably heard from some other game manufacturers that it is kind of slowing things down a bit. But we've been trying to use that time to work on some of the other supplemental materials that we added and promised during the Kickstarter campaign. So that includes the Token Terrors Tome of Terrors Minions Manual. This is a printed book that'll come with the Warlord's Wealth Reward, and PDF versions, downloadable PDF versions will be available to all our backers who back the core game and up. And what this is a 5th edition compatible Minions Manual. There is original artwork, there is original flavor text and supplemental text and monster stat blocks. So when you break out all of your Token Terrors mini monsters out of your box, you can populate the battle mat in your favorite RPG or 5th edition RPG and fill it up with a bunch of minions that can give your adventurers a hard time. So Shannon and I have been working on that for the last month and a half, maybe 2 months. The illustrations and all the text and writing have all taken a little while, but we're putting it all together now. And it's basically complete. We have a little bit more layout work to do, but yeah, we got that done. Next, for Token Terrors also, I've been working with a small team of indie designers that I have, that I've met through doing independent game design online. And I had this kind of neat idea where, we have the 6-count battle blocks for the Token Terrors, and we had initially decided to do a talent card for Battlegrounds in the bottom of the box. So we changed the battle block size to a square, a 3.5 by 3.5 inch square. And then I was thinking, well, we don't have a solo mode, and we had kicked around some ideas for something in Battlegrounds for a solo mode, but then I thought, why don't we just do a mini game? Why don't we do a solo adventure mini game that comes inside of the battle block? So we have 6 different small 15 to 30 minute solo mini games that are going to be consist of 2 or 3 cards or 2 or 3 pieces of punch board with some cardboard tokens, maybe a little tiny dice in one of them or 2 of them. And me and the other developers have been working on it. I have artwork completed for 3 of them. They're playable on TTS, so if you're watching this video and you want to try out some of these solo games on Tabletop Simulator, I'm going to post some links down in the doobly-doo. But yeah, they're really cool. The ones that are finished, I think, are super fun. I've been having a blast playtesting them and doing the artwork for them. And we still need to kind of take a hard look at our funds to make sure that we can cover the manufacturing order, because we have to do a minimum order quantity of 500 per unit of each of these mini games. But if it all works out, the end result will be that when you buy 6 minis by themselves at your friendly local game store, if you order it from us, inside will come a little 15 to 30 minute solo game. Still in the world of Token Terrors, we have been heavily playtesting the Season 2 lineup, which consists of 6 new factions, technically 7 if you can include the 7th bonus faction. And they feel like they're pretty close to done. A lot of the playtesting feedback I've gotten has been pretty positive. We have kind of ironed out a couple wrinkles in some of the design, but it's looking good. And we're sort of having internally a conversation about what we want to release next. We don't know if we want to stay in the world of Token Terrors because we've kind of been in the headspace of that game for the last 3 years. A little bit of a break. It's sort of naturally come about from being in that project for so long that I've kind of broken off and worked on a bunch of new stuff that has nothing to do with Token Terrors now that I understand the workflow and the ecosystem of making independently designed board games. So we also have the 1.5 expansion, which is Primeval Power. It's going to be a lot of larger tokens they occupy 2 to 4 spaces, and they're like team captains / giant monsters that you can pair with the smaller factions from Season 1. Initially, we had planned to do a 1.5 release shortly after we fulfill Season 1. But a little bit of a hiccup there. I'll get to it in just a sec. We're actually going to do another Kickstarter in February that is completely unrelated. But anyway, okay, I digress. So we're not really sure what to do with all this added content for Token Terrors quite yet. I mean, we definitely want to release it. We just don't know if it's going to be like this upcoming year or not till the end of the year. Remains to be seen. You might have seen some stuff bumping around about a game that we've been working on for a while. It actually got designed while we were still in the pre-campaign phase for Token Terrors. It's called Destroy the Castle. It is a 1v1 dice chucking, resource management, dexterity battle game with lots of exploding dice and some really great art that I'm very proud of. And the prototype is like super playable and cool to look at. I don't know when we want to release it because it's done. It's totally done, and a lot of people love the game. It's a little bit divorced thematically from like the sort of monster-y sort of stuff that we've been producing for Token Terrors and some of our other ideas. It's not nearly as dark. But that one's still around, and I'm still trying to gauge interest on, from people who have been supporting this company to see when they want to see Destroy the Castle come out. Also, been working on a game called Warhorn, which is a 2 to 6 player quick draft real-time battle game where you basically, under the stress of a 3-minute clock that is going to be designed into an application that we've already kind of made with our partners at AudioTank. You're going to have an app. It's going to have a 3-minute timer where you can add and take away time. And during the draft, you're under the stress of this clock. You're building an army really, really fast. You're building, you're taking a bunch of these horned beasts that each have different asymmetric abilities, and then you enter into a match or exceed bid where pairs of different beasts and different power values do different things within the battle, and basically first player to get all of their army out onto the battlefield wins the game. It's really quick. It's a lighter game. There is a little bit of crunch within the different abilities that each of the factions have. But again, like, the prototypes are ordered. We've been playing it. It's been super fun. We're still tweaking some of the power, so it's really not quite ready for release yet. It's impossible to play test on Tabletop Simulator because the game just moves too fast. There's a lot of like people snatching and like just very quick movements that the fiddly nature of Tabletop Simulator would be kind of a pain in the butt. But it would be a really easy game for us to produce because it's just cards and the rules are pretty simple. It's a fun game. And I've gotten a really great reaction on the artwork so far. So Warhorn, definitely, I think I'd like to put out this year because it should be a pretty manageable offering. But let me know what you think. Next, we've already, like, it's pretty much done, but this one really got rushed. The design side of it is still under construction. I think it's like an 18 or 20 page rule booklet, but we've been working on this game that has garnered quite a bit of excitement called Black Mold. So what Black Mold is a dungeon builder, resource crafting, it's got a bunch of stuff going on, but the core of it is that you are an escaped prisoner who is trying to get out of this compound that is completely covered in toxic fungal growths that are contaminating the air. So when you take your turn, all of the action phase part of your turn lasts for as long as you can hold your breath. You're not allowed to breathe in the tunnels of the compound, because if you breathe in too much, you'll take in spore damage and turn into a fungal thrall monster and try to kill the other players. It's all monochromatic. It's all white on black. The art package for it was a blast to do. I just spent 10 days straight just doing like 10-hour days in a row just getting this thing knocked out. I'm waiting for the prototype to show up. Obviously, USPS right now, if you're watching this one around the time when it comes out, it's the end of December, right around Christmas, and the prototype should have arrived a couple days ago, but it's running behind. As soon as it does, we're going to get some pictures of the final version. GameCrafter was super helpful in us getting a actually kind of affordable prototype for a game that has 26 custom dice and a bunch of custom printed meeple and a ton of cards. But we've already gotten some interest from a distribution and publishing partner on this one, and I kind of want to roll it out soon. The interest in it has been pretty profound. Basically, as soon as the prototype is in our hands and we're able to sort of put our rule booklet up to the test and under some scrutiny with physical components, I think that this game could probably be ready for release by Q1 or Q2 of 2021. But we'll see. And last but not least, I just found out about the Zine Quest project that Kickstarter does in February, or they do it every year. I think it landed on February last year too. Basically, the idea is this. You have 2 weeks, you do a 2-week campaign, and you're just producing a TTRPG zine. You're just doing a role-playing game zine. So this is I think I have a book. Yeah, it's about this size. It'll be a half-sheet program-style booklet that we can get printed at our local print shop. It'll be saddle stapled on the back. And I'm working with Tony Vazinda from Plus One Brands and Beards and Beyond to put together just a disgusting TTRPG. The idea behind this one isn't like knights and monsters and stuff. It's like about farts and boogers and like biting your nails and like licking grody band-aids and just disgusting like popping zits. That's why it's called Repugnant. It's the disgusting, repulsive TTRPG. So we're moving on that. The launch date for that is February 1st. The funding goal in Kickstarter is going to probably be like between $500 and $1,000. It'll be very low. And we have 2 weeks. And we're just going to see how many people are interested in buying the book. It'll be cheap. But for me, it's going to be super fun because I'm just going to get to realize all this really gnarly, gross, drippy, slimy art. And the whole thing will be printed in like neon green. It's going to be really gnarly. So anyway, that's everything. I'm going to try and post links in the description for the mini games that are on Tabletop Simulator. And if you have any questions or you're super excited about any of this stuff, comment down below. And thanks again for supporting Terrible Games. See ya.